Okay. Well, so without further ado, I don't want to keep you. We've been talking about cocktails all day. You're probably so ready for one after 2 days of listening to all of us talk for endless hours. It's been amazing. Thank you. And yeah, I'm so excited to be joined by Chris, who is the bar owner at Ninja Ramen. And he's going to be taking it away for our mixology class sponsored by Bloomerang.
Hello, y'all.
Hey, Chris.
Y'all can hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. Looks like you're all set up there.
I am set up. I was trying to scramble to get this up, and I was just about to jump on to start the video, and I realized my shirt was still off. So thankfully, it's not that kind of happy hour just yet, I think.
Maybe after.
Not yet. We'll start on that in about 15 minutes. Thank you for having me on here. It's great to be doing something during this COVID-19 thing with bars. I'm down here in Texas, so bars are all shut down. We can't open. We've been losing a ton of money just sitting around and wishing that we had customers here, wishing I was serving drinks. I'm drinking a lot by myself. That's kind of sad, I think.
Me too.
I might be, and might be the same for a lot of people, I feel like. Drinking like White Claws and stuff. It's just like I'm not even being classy anymore. But it's really exciting to be here just so I can talk about like real cocktails and stuff. Quick intro into what I'm doing here. What I have here, this place is called Ninja Ramen. But even though the name is ramen, we actually have a fantastic bar. We have the country's largest selection of Asian whiskey. So if you're all ever in town and like Japanese, Taiwanese whiskey and stuff, we have over 100 of them. We're all pretty knowledgeable about that. We love our whiskey. A lot of people don't even know that Japanese whiskey is a thing or Asian whiskey is a thing, but it's actually been around for a while. They win a lot of awards. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. And I guess everyone is doing, and so for today, I'm going to be doing some of our cocktails. I'm going to be using a few Japanese spirits. We're going to have a Japanese vodka I'll be using for our vodka martini, and then for our highball, I'll be using a Japanese whiskey as well. Do I just start? Are there like questions or anything I should start off on? Or
yeah,
just
I think
going?
I think yeah, just let us know what to do next. Like what should we have on hand? What should we grab from our cabinets to be ready?
I kind of want to start off with something that we can sip on while we're making some of the drinks. So we're going to start off by making a daiquiri. But before that, I guess, should we do a quick ingredient check?
Yes.
Or equipment check? A daiquiri is made with rum, lime juice, and some simple syrup. If you don't have simple syrup at home, you can use a little bit of sugar. I do recommend you mix it in, dissolve it with some water. It doesn't have to be hot water for now. You just stir in about a teaspoon of sugar to about 1 teaspoon of water or 2 teaspoons of water just to get it there. Most of the flavor is going to come from the lime juice and the rum. So you don't need to make it overly sweet. You don't need a ton of sugar. But yeah, we're going to start with a daiquiri. And so while we make the rest of the drinks, we can be sipping on a daiquiri. Daiquiri is real classic in America now. If you talk to a lot of bartenders, when bartenders go to other bars, especially these craft cocktail bars, the cocktail that they test other bartenders on often is the daiquiri, just to see if they know what they're doing. You know, like an old fashioned and martinis, a lot of times people have so many preferences, individual preferences, that it's hard to like gauge someone's skill. But a daiquiri is pretty standard, but at the same time, you can mess it up or you can do it really, really well. And so sometimes if I'm going into like New York City or DC and I'm going into a cocktail bar, a lot of times I'm just like, you know what, give me a daiquiri and then see what they come up with. And if they have if it's a great daiquiri, I'm like, all right, this bartender knows what he's doing. I'll order something else or like another fancier cocktail or something like that. Daiquiris are real simple, 3 ingredients, rum, lime juice, and simple syrup again. If you don't have, you can use any rum. You can use a light rum, like a white rum, or a dark, like an aged rum. This one is a Solera-based rum, Santa Teresa. It's from Venezuela. It's very, very flavorful, pretty fantastic. And we will just get going making this. If you have yourself a jigger, get yourself 2 ounces of it, and we're gonna pour it into our mixing glass here. Okay.
Candace, you're running low on rum.
Who's running low on rum? For lime juice, you want about a 3/4 ounce. So if you have a jigger, measure out 3/4 ounce of lime juice. And then about a 3/4 ounce pour of the simple syrup. When you shake, shaking technique is super, super fun. Very important though. A lot of people just shake like a limp noodle. Put lots and lots and lots of ice, as much ice as you can put in your shaker tin. So I just fill this up with ice. If you don't have a complete, everybody has different types of shaker tins. There are people with the 3-piece. These guys, these are hard to do. These are if you're fancy. If you're not fancy, don't use them. They freeze up a lot. If you don't have a well-worn shaker tin, the pieces will get stuck to it, to itself. So I use a pint glass and one of these guys. And then shake it really, 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 really hard as you can, as fast as you can. This stuff doesn't work, or like this little thing, because you want to dilute it as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So if you have less ice, shake it for a little longer. If you have more ice, you could probably get it done in about 10 seconds or less, depending on how big your ice is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it to this little bad boy. I prefer to double strain it so you don't have ice chips. Some people like ice chips in like martinis and stuff like that, but a daiquiri doesn't need all that. We're just going to strain it into this glass. And as a garnish, you can use a lime wedge or something. I got fancy and I dehydrated a lime wheel just because I'm bougie like that. So drop it right there. And there is a daiquiri. Cheers, guys. Are we still shaking? If someone wants to like turn on your video and show like your shaking technique at any point in time, I'd love to see people shake it.
Yeah, raise your hand if you'd like to be on video, and you can I'll unmute you and you can put on your video and join us.
But yeah, if y'all just saw Rob shaking it very, very lightly, like a wimp, don't do that. Shake much harder than that. Have we all tasted our daiquiri? How's it tasting so far?
Looks like some people are shaking.
So the idea behind a daiquiri is like a lot of times when you get a daiquiri at like a Chili's and something, it's a frozen drink. They're loaded with sugar. This one is a lot less sweet. You could probably drink a lot of these with less of a hangover risk the next day. It's supposed to be refreshing without being like a dessert. At any point in time, you can still make strawberry, banana daiquiris with this similar base. If you have like some kind of liqueur, maybe like a banana liqueur or a strawberry liqueur or something like that, you could also always just put in like another half ounce of that directly into the mix and then just do that. And you have a strawberry daiquiri that's not your Chili's, TGI Fridays, dessert drink. And it'll still be really, really refreshing. Next up is the fun thing. So I've started to think that we could do the Manhattan. I think a Manhattan is a fantastic boozier cocktail for sure. It is going to be a stirred drink where we're going to stir it, not shake it. And the only problem with Manhattans is that it requires sweet vermouth, and not everybody has sweet vermouth. Are there people here who do not have sweet vermouth? Okay, a lot of people don't have sweet vermouth. If you didn't know what sweet vermouth is, you could substitute with like a sweet sherry or a port or like a Madeira. It's not exactly the same, but a kind of similar thing. If you don't have any of that, it's still fine. What you can do is, what we'll do here is we're going to turn it into an old-fashioned, okay? So if you want to think about it, a Manhattan is basically an old-fashioned with sweet vermouth. So as we go along, we'll just kind of skip out. I'll talk you through a fantastic old-fashioned. A lot of people do, the whole rule behind and history behind an old-fashioned was that the original cocktail was essentially an old-fashioned. It was just spirits, whether it's gin or whiskey or rum, sugar, bitters, and a little bit of water, which we get with ice. As it got further along and closer to Prohibition and stuff like that, people started putting in things like putting in fruit and cherries and stuff like that. And one guy was like, no, don't give me any of that. I just want an old-fashioned cocktail. So anytime you find an old-fashioned, and there are tons of bars that do this. You go to a bar and you'll see them like muddle orange slices or cherries into it. They call it an old-fashioned. Technically, it's not an old-fashioned. Old-fashioned, by definition, only has like 4 ingredients. Again, spirits, bitters, sugar, and water. So we're going to do that today. The Manhattan, we're just going to add on a little bit of sweet vermouth, okay? We're going to start. People tend to do whiskey with old fashions, and Manhattans can be done with bourbon or rye. Most people prefer the sharpness and the little bite, the spiciness of a rye whiskey. So we're going to use a rye whiskey here. And we're going to start off with this time we're going to use a mixing glass. If you don't have a mixing glass, you can use a pint glass. That'll work as well, but we're not going to do a shake on this, okay? We're just going to stir this guy. So we're going to do 2 ounces of this guy. Can y'all see the, Candace, Rob, can y'all see my drink?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
We see the drink.
All right. Bitters. So a lot of people don't know how to do bitters. They see a dash. They don't know exactly what it means. I want to show you exactly what a dash means. This is not a dash. Grab your bottle and give it a serious dash. You're going to see like almost a stream of bitters come out. That is a dash. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a dash, 2 or 3. I like to do 3 on my Manhattans and old fashioned. Some people like 2. We're gonna go with 3 on this one, all right? So 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna put some sugar. So if you're doing an old fashioned, you're gonna put in about a 1/4 ounce, maybe a bar spoon of simple sugar, of simple syrup. And then if you don't have syrup, again, you can use some sugar. I like to mix in the sugar with some water first, dissolve it, because it doesn't dissolve very well in alcohol. So when you see people open a packet of sugar, put it in their old fashioned, and then they're kind of stirring it, you'll end up with sugar at the bottom of your drink. It won't get fully dissolved, and you get the wrong flavor for 90% of the drink. And then the last 10% is just way too sweet. So make sure you dissolve the sugar outside first. A sweet for Manhattan, what you want to do is you're going to add in sweet vermouth instead. And for this amount, we're going to use, for the sweet vermouth, I'm going to do about 3/4 ounce. If you do have vermouth at home, it is a wine, and because it's fortified wine, basically it does last a little longer. It doesn't hold forever, so you can't keep it on the shelf. Don't keep it on the shelf for a long time, especially after opening it. It's kind of like regular wine. So you can throw this in your fridge. After you open it, throw it in your fridge. You want to use it up within a month or 2. Most bars won't really keep it after a week or 2. But it will start degrading slowly. So if you have vermouth and you're opening it, or if you have an open bottle of vermouth that's been sitting on your bar cart for the past like 3 years, it's probably not gonna do you many favors. So with the stirred cocktail, again, we put plenty of ice into our mixing glass. We take our bar spoon, and we're going to stir it. The idea behind stirring it versus shaking any drink is that you don't want too much aeration. And we'll talk about this again when we make a martini. Aeration, bringing tiny micro bubbles into it, is going to affect the flavor of your spirits. It's going to affect how it reacts to your taste buds and your tongue. So it's going to get a little bit bitter. Some people's like, oh, you're going to bruise the spirits. Spirits won't actually bruise. It doesn't cause any permanent or chemical reaction, but it does cause your tongue to perceive the flavors a little differently. And so what we want to do is when we stir this, to stir it kind of gently. All right. If you notice how I'm stirring, I'm keeping the outside of the spoon along the inside wall of the mixing glass. So it's going to be pretty calm, pretty smooth. If you hear a lot of noise and clinking around, you're doing it maybe a little too rough. Again, but if you are, it doesn't matter too much, whatever, as long as we're drinking, okay? Once we get a stir for about like 30 seconds or so, strain it out into your glass. Put some ice into it if you'd like. Some people do Manhattan on the rocks. Some people do it straight. So just for today, we're going to do this neat. I like to serve it on a really big rock. And depending on how fast you want to drink it, if you're going to drink it fast, you don't need ice. If you are going to nurse it for a few minutes, then I would put some ice. And as it goes on, it dilutes it a little more. So I'll throw in just a few small cubes of ice here. For garnish on a Manhattan is cherries. I like to use the Luxardo cherries. These are like the baller ones. That this jar is like $16, $20. I forget. They're stupid expensive, but they're so much better than the kind that you find on a ice cream sundae. Those things are garbage, and pretty sure they're not even actually cherries. So if we can fish out one of these cherries. And we'll drop it in here. And that is our Manhattan. We all keeping up?
Oh, it's good.
Candace, someone is calling you out on your amount of drink.
I have like no alcohol left. It's been quite the quarantine, so.
Hopefully by now y'all have already finished your daiquiri. And we're gonna move on to our next drink is the martini. Martini's got the most amount of mythology and misconceptions and different ideas and James Bond, you know, shaken not stirred kind of thing. There's a couple things. A lot of times people do vodka now. Martinis have always been a gin cocktail, and in the kind of like the 90s, 80s and 90s, vodka started being used because they started doing fancy espresso martinis and chocolate martinis and all these flavored martinis. And so they cut out the gin and threw in vodka. And vodka is just one of those, it's not as polarizing as gin. So today we're gonna highlight both of them. The main difference is a lot of people with vodka martinis do like to shake it. Now, just as I said earlier, when we shake martinis or shake a spirit, you're going to kind of affect the flavor. Vodkas inherently don't have any flavor, so little, very, very little flavor, that shaking it doesn't really affect it. But if you use gin, I would say never shake your martini. Always stir it. It will affect how your mouth perceives it. A lot of cocktail bartenders, we like to refer to mouthfeel. When you stir it, it stays very smooth and more viscous and just more comfortable in your mouth, I guess. When you shake it up really, really fine, that aeration, it's going to get icy cold, but then it's just going to be a little more bracing and not as smooth. So we're going to start off with a gin martini here. And I'm going to rip through this a little faster just so I can do the vodka and the gin. If whatever choice you do at home, it's up to you. Or you can also make 2 martinis. But the thing with martinis is that there are a lot of different ways to make a martini. A lot of people like dry martinis, and that's made with dry vermouth. And then you have extra dry martinis, where you use less dry vermouth. And then you have bone dry martini, where you just kind of like throw a drop in the glass and that's it. And basically, you're just drinking chilled gin. Some people like that. Some people just really like their gin. What we're going to do is we're going to use I like to use a ratio, and you can do however much you like. But we're going to put in approximately a quarter ounce of dry vermouth. If you don't have vermouth, I guess we're doing a chilled martini again, a chilled gin again for that. But again, it's not super important. What am I doing? All right, so I'm going to use just about a quarter ounce of it. You could pump it up to maybe half an ounce, depending on your preference for the flavor. If you don't have it, you can use like a cooking sherry. A dry white wine will work. It doesn't have to be, you know, don't beat yourself up over the lack of that ingredient. Gin, again, we're going to do 2 ounces. If you're making a vodka martini, a lot of people barely use vermouth just because vodka has so little flavor that the vermouth kind of takes over. So for those, you can do like almost just a splash, just a smidgen of dry vermouth if you're doing a vodka martini. Fun fact, vodka martinis, the actual name for a vodka martini is a kangaroo. So if you say, hey, I want a vodka martini, you're actually ordering a kangaroo. I don't know why it's called a kangaroo. It wasn't invented in Australia or anything like that, nor was it invented by a kangaroo. So maybe it was invented by a guy named Joey, you know? I have no idea. But we're gonna do this, and then I like to do just a dash of orange bitters, just for a little bit of brightness in my martini. So just a dash of orange bitters, totally optional. We're gonna put in a bunch of ice, just like before. And we're gonna stir this for a good 30 seconds.
Candace,
And
I'm
when
in
you
business
stir
there.
it, just imagine like you're a DJ and you're scratching it like a turntable, except instead of a turntable, it's a glass and a mixing spoon.
Chris, I don't have vermouth or whatever you're making, so I did something else.
What is that?
It's raspberry hibiscus, seedlip, and elderflower tonic.
Wow, fancy.
All right, well, I'm not gonna make a martini anymore either. I'm just start taking shots myself.
Rob, you gotta make me a drink now.
This is a mocktail, so just
mocktail.
it's more like a fun kids drink than anything else.
Okay, now that we're done stirring the martini, go ahead and strain it again into your glass, your cocktail glass. Hopefully it looks crystal clear. If you get a nice viscous look to it, you've done it correctly. That should look super, super clear. When people like to do dirty martinis, you know, put a little bit of that olive brine into it. You're welcome to do that. I like mine super clean, super clear. It's just more refreshing this way to me. I know I have friends that like their martinis so dirty. They're like, I want, you know, they're like, I want it daddy issues dirty. You know, it's up to your choice. Some people throw in a ton of olive brine. If you use a pickled onion, like a little pearl onion instead, it's called a Gibson. So it's kind of up to you how you do it. Sometimes a lot of people, they might do a lemon twist and just sprinkle some zest, juice from the oils from the lemon peel. But I think this is just great on its own.
So, Chris, I have a question. So,
Yes.
you know, traditional martini, they put it in a martini glass, right? So,
Yes.
Is there a difference in terms of the cupware do you use?
Yeah, so technically there's no such thing as a martini glass. They started getting iconic, they look really pretty, and so they started using these glassware, and these are just the worst. If you talk to any bartender or server, they hate these glasses because it's just so easy to spill. You know, I'm walking around, when you have it up to the rim, it just comes right out. I don't understand the appeal to it. I guess it's one of those, you know, architectural lines, but there's no real purpose. Most cocktail glasses, earlier, the ones that we had used with the daiquiri, that's a coupe. That's also known as a cocktail glass. Very similar. You could serve a martini in that as well. Because of the straight edge wall at the end, at the tip, at the rim, I think that's actually more practical, and I prefer using that type of glass. These you're just doing to have they're easier to chip, they're easier to break, they're easier to spill. I hate these guys, but for the sake of, you know, the icon and the appearance, here it is, and cheers to y'all.
Cheers. I haven't made mine yet, but I will.
Do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to chat us in. We have a few questions, Chris, about who are you and where are you from and what establishment are you at?
I couldn't hear that last question.
What establishment are you at?
Oh,
Like,
okay. If you joined a little late, I'm at a place called Ninja Ramen in Houston, Texas. We serve ramen. Ninjas serve it to you. You don't even see them. We do it really, really quickly, very stealthily. We're open late night until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We also do cocktails, and we have the largest selection of Asian whiskey in the country. So we're doing that. I have been in Houston. We've been open for about 6 years now. God willing, COVID doesn't close us down for good, and we will still be around in a few months when we can open back up. I'm currently like rebuilding a patio in the back just so we can seat people outside as opposed to inside. We're kind of weird. We are the weirdo bar of Houston. I put on a cowboy hat and play, Garth Brooks behind the bar. It's just really weird when some people walk in, they see this Asian guy at a Japanese bar and just like wearing cowboy boots and a hat and just like, half yodeling their ramen order to them. We have dressed ourselves up as other bars for Halloween. I took a gigantic 8-foot teddy bear and walked around as a mascot inside, and that was the worst idea ever. I lost about 17 pounds in sweat because it wasn't a costume, it was a stuffed animal filled with stuffing. Very, very terrible, very bad idea, don't do it. Let's see, question is, how many drinks can y'all handle? These are all strong. Yes, the last one is gonna be slightly, a little easier. Sorry about that. The next question, Chris, is Texas currently now allowing carry-out orders? We have specific restrictions on how it's done, but yes, we have had a relaxation of laws that now allow us to do to-go cocktails, to-go drinks. It does help. It doesn't save any of us, bars particularly, but basically it forces bars to be a restaurant. So we have to serve food. You can't order drinks without food. They're just these stupid little restrictions, but again, it has helped many people in the industry. So baby steps, I guess, and hopefully we get a little more relaxation along the way. I don't know how long this lasts, but a lot of my friends we have closed, and that really, really, really sucks. And then I have a hurricane coming in about 4 hours, so that's going to be really, really exciting as well. Someone's like, oh yeah, someone's just mentioned NOLA. Yeah, Hurricane Laura is coming in, and hopefully it doesn't kick our ass too much. I'll be boarding up my windows in just a little bit. And yeah, let's see. I was married to a Japanese guy who everyone thought was Jackie Chan and played guitar on the corner, and the kids would come home crying. That's awesome. I would love to pretend to be Jackie Chan and play guitar, except I am not good at guitar, but I can probably talk like Jackie Chan if I tried. Let's see. Next, we're gonna go ahead and I think I'm kind of out of time, or running a little over. But what I'll do is I'm gonna make this bonus drink, highball. If you're ever familiar with highballs like Collins and stuff like that, they're basically just like a spirit with one or two other ingredients, typically a soft drink. So like when you get a whiskey soda, that's a highball. A vodka, a Jack and Coke, that's technically a highball. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a whiskey soda, and I would like to give you a little riff on it. So this one is a Japanese whiskey that is not in too much demand. Most people should still be able to find this in liquor stores. If you like bourbon, this is a Japanese whiskey that will take you in that direction. It's a fantastic whiskey, and it goes great in a highball. Let's see. I'm going to serve it do it in a pint glass just so you can see it more readily. So this, highballs are meant to be refreshing. You don't have to load it up with like a 2 ounces of liquor. You can do 1.5 ounce or even 1 1/4, or if you really want, just 1 ounce. I'm going to do a 1 1/4 ounce serve of this right now. And this one's going to be your refreshing, just like sipper. This is your patio sipper. It's not too crazy. Now, what I like to do is, if you're using a Scotch or a rye whiskey, if you have some mint, fresh mint at home, take a few leaves, slap it against your hand, and then drop it in there, and then throw the soda water on it. So pretty much that's all there is to it. It's just your spirit, some ice, and then we're going to throw some sparkling water on it.
Hey, Chris, I have a question. What is the Japanese whiskey called?
Where is Japanese whiskey from?
What is the Japanese whiskey you're using?
I was like, Japanese whiskey's from Japan. I have a whole bunch of Japanese whiskeys. Japanese whiskey in general was inspired by Scotch. So this was when, Japan started getting a lot of outside influence after their isolationist period in the 1800s. They started learning about whiskey, and they started making some really, really crappy stuff. So the company named Suntory, a huge company, sends one guy to Scotland, and he goes to school there. He works at a couple of Scottish distilleries. He marries a Scottish woman, and he comes back to Japan. He helps them build a distillery that is now known as the Yamazaki Distillery. Yamazaki might be the most famous Japanese whiskey on the market today. So if y'all are into whiskey or international whiskeys, this is the hard to find, very fantastic one, but he helped make the Yamazaki Distillery. He was under contract with Suntory. He worked with them for about 10 years. After that, he quit and opened his own distillery called Nika. And together, it was basically Nika and Suntory making whiskeys for the next close to 80 years or so before any other major players started coming out to make more whiskey. But most Japanese whiskey are made by these guys. So they've actually been doing this for a long time, for about 100 years now. And so the history is there. They've had a lot of time to perfect it. There are distilleries on the northern island of Hokkaido, and those distilleries are going to turn out products a little more similar to Scotch. The climate there is very similar to Scotland. And so you'll find whiskeys from that area to kind of be Scotch-like. And they were inspired by Scotch, so it doesn't go too far away. They do have their own style. It does have its own distinct flavors. They use a Japanese oak there called the Mizunara. And the Mizunara oak takes about 3 times as long to mature as, say, American or French oak. It imparts flavor slower, so it takes longer for the flavor of the wood to get into the spirit. But it gives you a little bit of sandalwood, a little kind of incense type of fragrance that's really fantastic. I love it. I was a huge Scotch drinker, and then I got onto Japanese whiskey, and it is, I'm a big fan. Clearly, my entire top shelf is Japanese whiskey. So Hokkaido is the most amazing place on earth. It's the part of Japan, when people talk about how amazing produce and food or whatever from Japan is, Hokkaido is where Japanese people think all the crazy good stuff is there. they do something weird with the, I don't know, the climate, the grass, the water. It's amazing. I don't know. Go there. You'll never regret it. They have milk there, Hokkaido milk from whatever magical cows they have. You could hate milk here, and then you drink Hokkaido milk, and you're like, if milk tasted like that, I would drink it every day. That's just what Hokkaido is. So there's a lot about talking about Kitty and Hello Kitty. So do I have a Hello Kitty somewhere in the background?
I picked up my cat for like.
Oh, you're a cat. Okay, I didn't see that.
Not the actual little
Sanrio, but an actual cat.
actual cat.
Gotcha. So anyway, this is your refreshing one. I like to use a not too heavy spirit for highballs. You just want to be able to like sip these real fast, drink these fairly fast to be able to do so before you dilute it all out of proportion, since so much of it is water and ice. So you can drink it pretty fast. The brand name of the Japanese whiskey I used is Nika, and it's called coffee grain whiskey. Coffee is not coffee, the coffee bean or anything. This is the name of the guy who invented the still that they used to distill this stuff. So they use it was invented by a guy named Aeneas Coffee, and so coffee with a Y. And so they use that type of still to make this grain whiskey, which is largely corn, which is why bourbon drinkers can transition to this fairly easily. Let's see. Any advice on someone trying to be a DIY bartender? Are those bartending kits on Amazon worth it? Asking for me during quarantine. Yeah, don't do the kits. Waste of money. Get a shaker tin. Go to a restaurant supply, get any tin like what I was using, and forget the 3-piece sets. Just get one of these guys. Use a pint glass to mix it with. A bar spoon, any spoon. It doesn't have to be fancy. Use a chopstick. It really doesn't matter. But if you want to learn bartending, I would say check out a couple of books and follow the recipes there, but also try to follow some YouTube videos. There are some really good bartenders out there doing actual things. Just follow a bartender from a cocktail bar, and not something called the tipsy bartender who just makes those crazy club drinks filled with like Oreos and Cheerios and fruit by the foot. Don't follow those guys. I don't know what they're doing, other than getting diabetes. My favorite drink, so as a bartender that's drinks a lot of spirits, I end up drinking fewer cocktails, and I just drink spirits straight now, and I end up using very bitter. I do a lot of Fernet and Amari, just like real bitter stuff, and I just shoot that. But for pleasure, I drink whiskey, and but if I were to go do a cocktail, a nice highball is always classic. I mean, I'm here in Houston, so it's always hot. So we're on patios a lot. Highballs are fantastic. Daiquiris are great. The boozier drinks like old fashions and stuff, it tends to be more like a winter type drink for me. But yeah, if you ever want to try some bartending stuff, there's a typical formula. If you have some ingredients at home, it's this formula will not steer you wrong. Use some spirit, use some sweet, use some acid. Those 3 things. So like rum, some lime juice, some sugar. Mix it together. You have yourself a daiquiri. If you did like a margarita is very similar. A margarita is tequila, and you have lime juice. You have some triple sec, like an orange liqueur, and you stir that up. That's a margarita. You can do a sidecar. You can do kamikaze. They're almost all similar recipes, similar formula. It's just spirit, sweet, sour. Mix them together. That's not the only template for cocktails, obviously, but if you're at home or you're at a friend's house and you want to make something, do those 3 elements together. You're gonna be good. And the ratio, just do like 2 parts spirit, 1 part sour, 1 part sweet. You're gonna be good to go. And then just work, tweak it from there to your preference. And maybe you don't like it as sweet, just use a little less agave syrup or simple syrup or honey, whatever is available. But that is pretty much it. Are there any other questions? Candace, you said we do have a prize thing?
So we actually, I talked to Rob right before. We have 3 prizes because we were like, fuck it, this will be fun. So Chris, we leave it to you. 3 of those who have stayed on for our class, whoever you pick from the chat at random,
Okay.
will be awarded, it's an aperitif. I can share it. I'll show you all what it is if you weren't on yesterday and didn't see what Kyle won in our comedy session. So it's this really cool thing. It's the house starter kit. And you can make all these really cool cocktails. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do at home. So we actually have 3 of these starter kits to give away. So Chris, I will leave it to you to pick.
Hurricane Laura's about to wreck my house. So if there is a participant by the name of Laura, just a long shot. I haven't checked anybody's name or anything like that. But is there a Laura?
Oh, there's a Laura here.
Awesome. Well, to appease the Lauras of the world, and hopefully you don't destroy my business and house, I would like to nominate Laura to be a winner of one of these starter kits.
Nice. Laura, congrats. You have won because Chris has appeased the hurricane gods.
She will spare me. Thank you, Laura.
Oh, God. So please email me because I didn't catch your full name. So please email me at candace@cosvox.com or support@cosvox.com and I will get you your starter kit. I just need your address and then we'll send it to you.
Okay, so second way of picking this is going to be a fun way. It's through the chat window, so get ready to type something in the chat. The 7th person to type in a entry on the chat room from when I'm counting now is the second winner. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one from me is Natalie.
Natalie, woo! You won! Also, Natalie, follow up with me at either candace@cosvox.com and I will get you, or support@cosvox.com, and I will get you your prize.
And then here's a long shot, but I think it would be silly for me to not try now that I thought of it. Has anybody been to Ninja Ramen? Has anybody been to my bar? That would be
awesome. I think Rob has.
Oh, someone has.
What?
Someone, who is it? Jennifer Sakifio?
You've been in Ninja Ramen? Wait, I'm gonna unmute you. How do I do that?
I live in NOLA and work in Houston. Wow. Okay. Well, did you like it or did you not like it? But that is in case you didn't like it, hopefully I'm buying your favor right now. I'm selecting Jennifer to be my 3rd winner of this starter kit.
That's crazy. What a small world. That's so awesome.
That's really cool. That's super awesome.
That's so awesome.
Jennifer, hopefully we will, when we get to open again, please come back. And anybody who's on this panel, if y'all are ever in town in Houston, come by, say hello. I'll make you a cocktail. Or maybe you can make me a cocktail. and we'll have a drink together. Hopefully, we all end up on the right side of up after this whole COVID thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, good luck, Chris, with everything. This has been a lot of fun. So,
is everyone drunk your cocktails? I'm gonna start like chugging my things now.
Bad again.
But I think it was a very good idea that this panel wasn't at the very beginning of the day. You might not have ended up with everybody lasting the whole way through.
Oh, I started asking people at 9 a.m. what their favorite cocktail was. So we've been getting ready for this all day.
Well, I'm glad y'all made it. Thank you everyone for joining me. Hopefully it was educational, if anything. If you have any questions, if you have any cocktail mixology questions, feel free to email me, Candace, if you want to throw my email address on there somewhere. I'd be happy to answer questions or whatever to anybody. If y'all are in town, come by. If you want to drop me a line, I'm happy to help out with anything right now. Again, I'm not even working, so I got time.
Thank you so much, Chris. This has been so much fun. What a great session just to hang out and make some drinks. And
I mean, we can do this every day.
Let's do it.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
And every work day this way.
Yeah.
I'll have to, as everyone noticed, I have to
This is the best part of working from home, like.
So I put Chris's email in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and email Chris, he'd love to connect. And I have to restock my liquor.
Oh yeah, you're short on some liquor. You need to get some more of that. Your cat's been drinking all of it.
I wouldn't be surprised. She kind of finds everything. Oh man. All right. Well, there's still 80 people on. I can't believe all of you have made it this far. Congratulations.
I guess we're just drinking together at this point.
Cheers.
This is happy hour. So cheers.
This is happy
hour.
This is like the last, it's like 4 minutes left of happy hour.
If you need to be, double fisting, hey, double cheers to you.
I do. I have 3 drinks now that I can't drink all at once. Oh, what's in the globe? It's a secret bar. You store liquor in here. Except all I have is this old Irish whiskey that Rob gave me, and these like fake little cocktail mixers that are kind of really sugary and gross, and I haven't used. But I have to restock that, obviously. I got it on Wayfair like a million years ago, meaning like 4 years ago.
Condolences to Angela, who lives in a dry county, and she lives 30 miles away.
Oh, that's a rough life.
Condolences.
Yeah. I guess we wouldn't have gotten if you had won. I don't even know if they would have delivered it.
Yeah. Wow. I guess I'm glad I don't live in a dry county.
I kind of can't believe those exist. It's very weird.
It's weird. There's a lot of leftover laws from Prohibition and stuff like that. And like Texas has a lot of weird laws. Liquor stores are closed on Sundays. A lot of people have visited and are like, can't buy alcohol on a Sunday, and that's just really weird. You could go to a bar or a restaurant, but they can't serve alcohol before 12 noon, unless you have like food. So that's why brunch is so popular down south here in Texas. Super brunches are packed because they have to order food so they can get started on their mimosas. It's there's a lot of silly stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun because like the other night I met up with my friend here for a drink, and now Cuomo has said like you have to serve food with alcohol, that's never been a thing. Like I don't understand why that's applicable now.
I don't know why. It's silly because they didn't set like a restriction on it either. So someone's like, I can buy a pack of gum and then just order like a bottle of liquor. So it's like, that gum's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to change, like help you stay sober. So I have no idea.
That's so funny. Yeah, so like we ordered a cocktail and like the waitress or bartender comes over and she's like, I have to give you this hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, no, we will take the hot dog. We also
Yeah.
want the hot dog, but like not expected.
Well, I'm one of those people that are genetically blessed. I eat constantly, and I'm still fairly on the smaller side.
God bless
So
you.
I'm one of those people that eat 3 lunches and 3 dinners a day, and then we go out drinking. But when I drink, I'm eating food. And then after drinking, you eat some more food. Thankfully, I have genes that I'm still here and not here. But yeah, I'm constantly eating. So this whole rule about like, oh, you have to order, food with your drinks. I'm like, yeah, bring it on, I'm fine with that.
Oh man. Chris, if you don't mind sharing, were you able to get a small business loan? Has Texas been supportive of small businesses?
Yeah, so if you've noticed on the news, unfortunately, Texas is filled with people who believe that the COVID thing is a hoax. And so we are constantly fighting people who don't like to wear masks and all that jazz. So we were able to get a loan, but just the way it works, it was silly to try to because bars can't reopen. So, and this thing lasted so long that we have done some strategic way of saving our money, so we haven't used the loan yet. We're going to start sometime in September on using that and paying our people. So they were on unemployment. All my staff has been on unemployment until September, where we're going to start using that loan. And hopefully by the time Texas catches up with a decline and everything, the usage of that would be, I guess, optimal, where it helps everybody out in the best way possible, in the most efficient way. So yeah, we were able to get that loan, the PPP loan. We just haven't been able to use it smartly yet, but I think we will be able to, and I think it will help my people a lot. So my staff has been really awesome, very understanding. So we're just chilling. We keep in contact a lot. So while I have like another 80 people on this thing, not everybody knows about icing. There's a bar prank or a college prank or something like that. It's called icing your friends, icing people. And if you're ever familiar with a Smirnoff Ice, this is a prank that you do, and this is real fun. So while we've been in quarantine, I have been going to my employees' houses and giving them gifts, gift baskets or whatnot, and giving them bottles of Smirnoff Ice. Now, the prank about icing is you hide a bottle of Smirnoff Ice somehow. And if whoever discovers it, if you encounter this bottle of Smirnoff Ice, you must drop down to one knee, pop it open, and chug the entire bottle right then and there. That's the prank. So sometimes it's funnier to do it when it's like a little bit inconvenient or just like out of the blue. And it's funny, yeah, someone's saying ew because it's Smirnoff Ice is your 17-year-old illegal drinker who's like just discovered alcohol and is like drinking sweet stuff and they can't handle their hard liquor yet. So it's very, very sweet. But that's what you do. So we hide it. We'll hide it in my ice machine, and then so a staff member will like open it up to grab some ice for the bar, and all of a sudden there's ice in the ice machine, and they gotta drop down and chug a bottle real quick.
Jenna, I'm coming.
I have done that to someone in New York. I had a friend in New York. I mailed her a care package from Texas with Whataburger stuff, with lots of things and all types of Texas things, and then I included a box of a very expensive $300 bottle of whiskey. But instead of a $300 bottle of whiskey inside that box, it was a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. And so she was a general manager, and so she was at work when she had opened up that package, so she had to chug a bottle of Smirnoff Ice in front of her entire staff. It was pretty funny.
That's amazing.
But
Jenna?
yeah, that's a good idea. So if anybody, hey, you know, you're bored, buy a pack of Smirnoff Ice, prank your friends. It's relatively harmless.
Jenna, be ready. It's gonna be
Yeah, you gotta be ready. The rule is if you know that you're about to be iced, like if someone like gives you a gift and you're like, I know that there's a Smirnoff Ice in here, and you call it, the person who attempted to ice you, they have to drink it.
Oh.
But that never happens because nobody's ever expecting an ice. we're not in fraternities anymore, so you know it never happens.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Rob, maybe you'll get one too. None of y'all can expect it. I don't even know.
It's a great way if you're ever traveling with friends on an airport. It's pretty fantastic because you sneak it into their carry-on. So then when they try to sneak it through, pass it through security, they're like, "Oh, you have liquids in there." They open it, they have to drink it right then and there.
This is great. Kelly's like, Chris, you should have your own talk show. I agree. We should just do this all day. Like, let's do this weekly. See you all guys next week at our next hour.
Yeah, we can do a weekly happy hour. I'm down with drinking and talking.
Oh, so good.
We'll call it the revolver. You take 6 shots and then we talk.
Oh yeah, we can get a Cosbox set up for you to help.
Heck yeah. You're supporting my nonprofit drinking habit. I'm okay with that. Actually, you know, and in the bar business, I end up getting a lot of like samples from liquor reps and stuff like that. And so I'm constantly, you know, I have the ability to make and experiment with a lot of weird liqueurs and liquors and spirits and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. And sometimes you end up with a bottle of liqueur that you use so little of each time that they'll sit for like years. And I'm like, why do I still have this, you know, liqueur that's just sitting here? I think this is from 2010, you know, because it's used like 1/4 ounce at a time. And those are like kind of silly things. It's just like, you know what, have a party, prank your friends, like, hey, I dare you to take a shot of this instead, and that's how you kill a bottle.
It's dips. I have a lot of those kinds of things sitting around. What do I have? It's gross. I have peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, you know, hey, peppermint schnapps is great in a grasshopper, and you can do little riff on like Irish coffees with peppermint schnapps.
Oh,
actually
really?
Pretty good. Yeah.
That sounds actually good.
Mint and coffee go together in a way that most people don't anticipate, and it's actually pretty good. Actually, there's a coffee chain on the West Coast called Phil's Coffee, and they have something called like a mojito coffee or whatever it is, and they put mint with their coffee.
Ooh.
And it's really good. It's actually one of their more popular drinks, I believe. Anybody on the West Coast can confirm.
Delane's had it in hot chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be dope.
Yeah, like chocolate mint kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Now I have things to do to burn through this whole bottle of peppermint schnapps. I have this like vanilla flavored vodka.
Okay, so I have a great idea for you. If you want to use that up, you sneak that into, because vanilla works so well in so many different cocktails. Vanilla goes really well into whiskey cocktails, into citrus, kind of like, think of like a orange creamsicle kind of thing, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
Orange and vanilla go really well together. So you can actually sneak, you know, don't use a whole shot of it, but maybe like a 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce at a time into a bunch of different cocktails, any kind of cocktail that you you're doing. Vanilla goes into so many different things.
Talia's like, what about apricot liqueur? I haven't heard
Apricot
of that.
liqueur, it's so sweet. Yes. So a lot of these liqueurs don't do it, don't use it as a shot. Do quarter ounce. Something fruity. Like if were making a daiquiri, if you put in just a quarter ounce of apricot, you're gonna boost up the fruitiness of it. But it's not gonna overpower it. And it's a great way to keep on using that up. There's some beers that I like, some like light Hefeweizens and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Just put in a little bit of these liqueurs, and a lot of them do really, really well. Grapefruit liqueur does really well. Pamplemousse, even pear liqueur goes really well in beer. They're all pretty cool ways of utilizing some of these hard to use liqueurs that you might have sitting on your cupboard for a while. Someone said, setting a webinar series for Chris's cupboard, donation accepted during my show. So actually I did exactly that at the beginning of COVID when we got shut down. I did a fundraiser for my staff where I sat in front of my home bar at home and I opened up my Venmo for donations, and anybody that donated money, they could tell me to drink whatever they saw on my cupboard, on my back bar. And the problem with that was that it wasn't just my liquor collection, but also my pantry. So people were donating like $10, $20, but also telling me to drink a combination of tequila, mayonnaise, barbecue sauce, and protein powder. And I was doing all of it. I mean, you know what? I said I would do it, and I did it. Like I don't chicken out.
Wow.
So some of it was terrible. Absolute cheesecake with tequila is one of the worst flavor combinations you'll ever have in your life. I strongly recommend you not drink tequila and put a piece of cheesecake in your mouth. It's just, no, don't do it. I did it so that you didn't have to.
Thank you for being so brave.
I do have a Team Instinct sticker. Our bar was a gym. So people were battling all the time for quite some time. And I don't know why they deactivated. We are no longer a gym. But it was kind of fun. We had people coming here and doing Pokemon battles for a few years.
So funny.
But yeah, that's always a good idea. If you ever want to try to get your friends to give you money for nothing, and you want to torture yourself, just have people donate to you while you drink anything that they tell you to drink off your bar at home.
Honestly, that might be a great fundraising idea. Like, you guys will do really well with it. All of you on this call.
Yeah, for sure. There's a shot called Bailey's and tequila. It curdles.
God.
Highly do not recommend. Right. Exactly. Don't do it. Someone says, do you own the other Ninja Ramen in Texas or just random popular name? We were the first. We were told not to mess with the other Ninja Ramens, even though technically we have precedent on it and we could tell them to stop. But my IP lawyers basically said, you're going to spend more money fighting it than anything. So we just let other people do Ninja Ramen. So there's one up in the Dallas area. There's one in Corpus Christi. Unfortunately, the one in Corpus Christi actually stole our logo. And so that's federally trademarked. So we told them that they couldn't use our artwork. But it's real fun. We had a real cool logo. So if some of y'all saw the logo on the splash screen earlier, I designed it myself, but it's basically two bowls, ramen bowls, that made up the face, the head of a ninja, and chopsticks sticking out, and it was ripped off. There's a restaurant in, there you go. Yeah, you see that. It's basically two ramen bowls, and it's kind of cute but cool at the same time. There's a Ninja Ramen that opened in Belgium, in Liège, Belgium, that also took our logo. But we don't have jurisdiction over Belgium, so they're just still using our stuff. But I'll just take it as, people think that I did a good job. So I'll take it,
Nice. So you're the one in Houston then.
I'm the one in Houston.
Nice.
The other ones are all posers.
True.
And they don't have a bar, so they just do most of the other places just do ramen and stuff like that. But we're the oldest, we're the OG, yeah, we're the OG Ninja Ramen, and but yeah, I mean, I don't worry about it too much. It's not like I'm gonna become a multinational, conglomerate like Nike or anything like that. So it's just me doing my little thing down here in Houston. If y'all ever come in town, come to mine, not somebody else's.
Do you have Twitter?
I have a Twitter that I never use. I lost my password and I don't know how to recover it. So we'll pretend like I don't have it. I do have an Instagram, Ninja Ramen Houston, that I do update. So let me type that in. My Instagram is at Ninja Ramen Houston. And then I think my Twitter is technically at Ninja Ramen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chris. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'm here to drink. Anytime y'all need a drinking partner, Candace had put my email address up top. Just email me and I'll drink with you.
I'm down. Cosbox happy hours or something.
Yeah. Cosbox happy hour. That should be a thing, actually.
It should. It really should. Because I tried to do it. So I tried to do Cosbox happy hours a while ago. And I guess I picked a Monday, which was a bad day to do it, I think, in retrospect. And so only like 2 people showed up, but that was also in person. But we could do this like virtually and more people can come. So awesome. So you have a bunch of Ninja Ramen fans out of this. Like people are shouting you out. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you everyone. The 57 people who are still on, even past. You've been on all day. This has been a great time. I'm definitely getting a little tipsy because I'm triple fisting.
That means we did a good job.
Yes, good job. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you all so much for joining and staying and hanging out and drinking with me.
Nice. Yeah, thank you all. It's been a great time. I'm going to try to save the chat before I forget. Like I forgot yesterday, my bad. And so, yeah, thank you. And looking forward to staying connected with everyone here. And thank you again, Chris. This has been a lot of fun.
I like Dave. I can't believe I stayed 80 minutes past the virtual conference ending.
Kudos to you.
Kudos to everyone. We're doing good. Hey, cheers to everybody. Pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having me on here, Candace and Rob and everybody from Cosvox. This has been fun for me too. So you all have a very good time. Anybody on the south, on the Gulf Coast, please be safe with the hurricanes. Louisiana's gonna get wrecked and stuff. I hope you're safe. I hope you evacuated if you had to. If it's not too late, you should leave. Here in Houston, we should be missing the crux of it. So hopefully, and plus Laura had promised to spare me. So hopefully we'll be okay here. But anybody on the Gulf Coast that's got, that's in the line of danger, please be safe. And we'll see you all on the flip side.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay safe, everybody. Have a great evening, and I'll follow up with you guys in the next few days. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Happy digital fundraising. Okay, see ya.